All right, welcome to day 2 of Go Cross. This is the women's race. Zoe, how'd the start go?
It was pretty good. I liked their song choice. Thought it was fitting.
What was the song?
It was Thunder.
Thunder. Excellent. Yeah, you can see right here there's a little bit of rain. How was the course once you pre-rode it?
Um, Pretty good. Yeah, we were worried it was gonna like start dumping after pre-ride and like things were gonna change significantly, but it really didn't. Stayed kind of the same drizzle the whole day. Um,
Oh, that's a good start.
yeah. I mean, for the most part, there was pretty good traction. Just in a couple corners were a little bit tricky, but I think otherwise it made it nicer because it was a little bit smoother. It wasn't as bumpy, not as dusty. So I don't know. Overall, not too bad. Just a little bit more slippage in certain spots.
And much cooler. You were on Limus's, so pretty
Yeah.
beefy tire. How did that feel compared to the other tires that you rode on the course?
The first day, I mean, oh, actually, the race was the first time I rode the Limuses. I rode like a mid tread for the pre-ride. It definitely had more
Pretty confident.
traction in some of the faster turns. 'Cause, yeah, like I was saying, I mean, it was not super slippy everywhere, so I think being able to take some of them faster was good. I felt like it was a good tread. So
Coming up this hill, I think we'll see you come through in a second. There was a lot of different lines. I noticed you started moving to the right. There was like a lot of slippage on the left, if I remember correctly.
yeah, I will. And the main thing too was that I was just going up as high as I could for the remount, just because it was smoother up there to get back on the bike. I was just having a lot of trouble finding the pedals all day, so avoiding roots and stuff as much as possible uh, helped because yeah, I was already struggling with getting my feet clipped in. So
So we've already got to your start. You were like in 11th place. You're starting to chip away, but there are gaps, and you've got to close them. How did the fitness feel today?
um, definitely better than yesterday. That compared to like in the heat. Felt like I was able to move up more consistently, and I started a lot more conservatively too. So it was definitely more the way I like to race it, like moving up instead of trying to hang on.
You're right next to Emily Shields here. You guys were jockeying for position for a while. You're like trying to go on the outside. What did you guys have a talk at all? Was there any communication between the two of you, or just riding together?
No words were exchanged.
That's how cross races go. Um, tell us what was happening. I noticed you had a few spills during the race. When did they happen?
Yeah, I had one actually like right. So we'll go over this. We'll go over the hill. Um, yeah. So this little hill right here, we get up over that, come around the other side, go back up. You do a couple of little silly little turns, and then you go to the right. Um, Actually, I guess I did that one well because I ended up. Oh, I remember what I did. I ran that one. That was the only time I ran the U-turn because it was me, Emily, and then that girl in white right there. They both rode it, and so I ran and cut them off on the inside and jumped back on.
Oh, there's a little spill over there right in front of you. So narrowly dodged that one. That's the next lap. So looks like you rode it successfully once or twice. I,
I only slid out one time there, and I didn't actually fall. I just like slid and had to put my foot down. And when I tried to pull back up and like half pedal with the other foot, my foot came out of the pedal, and then I was fully unclipped. And I was like, "Well, this is a problem." But I think my biggest fall was on the other side of the road when we crossed over, like right on the exposed edge of the hill. That turn right down there. Not this time, but like the second to last lap when I was all by myself and right across from the announcer's tent. That was unfortunate.
yeah, we were listening to the announcers, and I mean they did talk about you a lot moving up in and being new to the sport, and then all of a sudden, like
Proved them right.
you just slipped out. Which I mean, Emily had crashed at one point.
Turn that.
She had crashed right there too. So I think everybody was just biding their time on that turn.
I'd gotten a little bit of trail magic from Robert Marion like 2 laps before. He was out there with an umbrella, like pointing at the grass. That was super nice. And so I was trying to take the same line, and I think I just went in a little bit hotter than I had the previous laps before that, and yeah, it was just a little too fast.
We did have a bike change during the day. I think we'll see that in a little bit. Can you tell us like what you were feeling, why you swapped bikes?
Um, one of the times that I slid out, and then I think it had also just been previous to that, the barrel adjuster on my derailleur came out. And so the gears were just kind of like going back and forth all over the place. I was like, this is a problem. I can't really go up hills if I'm like ghost shifting into my smallest cog. So that was the main reason why I switched bikes.
I think you're about to come into the pit here, so I'm, one arm catching, and then Hamlin's going to be back here handing you the bike. Looked like a pretty comfortable dismount, remount.
Yeah, I was more prepared for it today than I was the day before, so I was like mentally ready for it.
Nice. Yeah, it's a little easier when you're going a little slower into the pit too. We were first pit box, so you gotta come in fast.
It caught me by surprise when I saw you guys standing right there. I was like, "Oh, well, I guess we're doing it."
So you're on the spare bike, running through some stuff. Um, how did the bikes feel different at all, or just
Yeah.
just kind of run?
Yeah, no, they feel very different. That bike is actually still the Trek. I think I'd switch back, but yeah, the Focus is like a lot shorter reach, so I feel like I'm way more hunched up. And then, I mean, the biggest difference is that the Trek is Shimano and the Focus is SRAM. So I have to remember that like I don't have a big lever shift on the Focus.
So we're moving a little bit farther through the race. You've kind of lost contact with Emily and that other girl, but yeah, are catching her. I think we can see there.
Yeah, there was Emily did drop me at some point, and then but there was someone between us, so I did end up um catching her like with 2 laps to go, or on the last lap, something like that.
So hard course, Emily's really good at those. I think you're coming back in here to swap bikes again
Back to the Trek.
to the Trek. So we're a little bit later. We've like changed the shifting on the bike, gotten set up. But late in the race here, what's the plan? Are you smoothing things out or continuing to try and pull time back on the person in front of you?
I'm still trying to pull time back on the person in front of me. Because I knew that I could catch her, but there wasn't really anyone after her. So I mean, a place is a place, so I wanted to, move up as much as I could. And I feel like by the end of the race, I had some of my lines dialed pretty well, or like I felt smooth on them. I definitely felt better like the second to last lap of the race than I did on the first lap. So I was just having a good time at that point, just trying to like feel good. Except for this flyover. Just failed at that every time.
Sometimes you get a little scared of the pedal strikes on the flyover. I do too. You rip in that corner though.
Yeah, I felt good about that corner. There were places where I felt like I'd found the grass, so.
Excellent. So it finished up pretty well. Didn't look too beat up. Good job. What were the sensations of the finish? Didn't spend too much energy.
I mean, happy, yeah.
Good. Seventh place for Zoe. First was Magli Rochette, then Caroline Monty and Raylan Nuss in third. Moving on to the men's race. All right, Cade. Men's race got the start flying through. How'd your start go?
My start was pretty good. I got a little bit luckier in the lottery. I think I was 25th call up as opposed to 40th or so the day before. So that definitely was beneficial. And I got on the inside of turn one, which I thought was really good. It was still, pretty congested, so there wasn't a lot of space to move up. But I was in a decent spot coming through here right now on the first lap, just a few corners in. And then actually, I think it's not quite yet. Uh, I ate it pretty good on the first lap and lost all of my good start. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like right there you got some mud on your butt at this point. You were right behind Drew Dillman, who finished like pretty well. So start was good. Just a little crash, little spill in the beginning. What's the thoughts for moving back up through the field now?
Yeah, I mean, you can see right here, I'm like fourth to last. So it was just a game of picking off as many riders as I could. I knew I had a lot, a lot of riders ahead of me. So yeah, I just made a game out of it. Tried to see how many I could pass. I was feeling pretty good. So
Yeah, you look pretty confident in these corners so far. I mean, obviously, other than the one slippery one, but your tire choice. What are you going with on the A bike?
yeah, I went with the Donnelly PDXs. Yeah, super solid tire for kind of the mixed wet conditions that we had.
And then we had on your spare bike, we had Limus's as well, and then another mixed tire. I think you jumped onto Limus's halfway through. What did that feel like in comparison?
Yeah, the Limuses were a bit grippier, but I think just a touch slower on the straights. So I had a lot of confidence in the corners on them, but I think the PDX was a little bit better for the conditions.
Your conditions did change throughout the race. It got a little drier, right? A little more hero mud.
Yeah. Maybe the Limus would have been better earlier on when it was a little more slippery, but later in the race was actually when I got on them and they weren't as necessary. It was pretty tacky by that point.
We're coming to the party corner with Buffalo Man. Tell me your thoughts on this guy.
Yeah, he was just trying to feed me cash the whole race. I kept missing him, but I did actually grab a five from his friend. I think later on. Yeah, no, it's a good time. That's what cyclocross is all about.
Got to still have fun with it. That is a good way to make money too. You just grab a dollar every time. You're rolling through. I guess we're probably halfway through this race now. How are the sensations? Well, that guy just missed a pedal. You're making your way through the field though, probably sitting like 20th, maybe even into the top 20 at this point.
Yeah, I was feeling pretty good really until maybe the last lap, last two laps. I started to fade a little bit, but I was pretty much picking people off up until that point, and then I didn't lose any positions at the end. So I was, yeah, pretty happy with how I was able to sustain the effort versus the day before. I fell off quite a bit harder at the end of the race.
Yeah, the conditions were a little more friendly as far as the heat. How was the course? Do you have any favorite corners? Any corners you were nailing every lap?
Yeah, I really liked the sweeping left-hander off camber that was it was only the third corner maybe of the course. It was really fun. I found like the grass on the outside was super fast versus the line that had been ridden in was pretty slippery. But I was just like flying around the outside and yeah, I felt like I nailed that one. There were a lot of corners that I didn't feel so good on though.
This course is a little more flowy than yesterday. There's not as much like technical demanding, well, I guess not technical, but elevation demanding climbs, right? You have a little more momentum into stuff. Um, did that play into your race strategy? Were you keeping it a little smoother? What's the approach on those?
Actually, uh, I was trying to be more punchy out of the corners and really throttle it every time coming out of the corners because the day before I'd been kind of trying to diesel it and I just forgot that in cross like momentum is so important and you have to build it as quickly as you can coming out of deceleration. So yeah, I was really making my accelerations pretty hard, which actually I think suits me better and I think it contributed to me feeling a lot better.
Awesome, awesome. You there was an Andrew Strohmeyer pack filtered once or twice. He like got a flat, went to the back, and then came back through. Do you remember seeing him at all? He had yeah, quite a stochastic race. Do you remember riding with him?
Yeah, man, he was absolutely flying when he came around me. He came around me pretty quickly after he had had his mishap, so it was definitely early on his charge back to the front of the race. But he was flying. I tried to stick with him, but I just didn't have the confidence in the turns and just yeah, he's flying right now.
Yeah, we you switched bikes at the end there. What was the reason that you switched bikes?
Yeah, my shifting just stopped working. I think the cable just had too much grit in the housing and wasn't releasing the tension. So
Pulled through with a strong 18th place. First was Loris Rouillet, and then Vincent Bastians in second. Rounding out the podium was Anton Ferdinand. Thanks for watching Go Cross next weekend in Rochester for the UCI CX American calendar. See ya.